Grand Rising, welcome.
Malik Akil Bay, Illinois Territories. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Grand Rising.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm on my computer, and I'm trying to figure out how to mute it. I'm usually on my phone.
Okay. If you need some help with that, let me know. It's fine.
Islam, Sister K. Martinez, Detroit, Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
I found it.
Grand Rising. Welcome, welcome.
Grand Rising, Richard Wright Bay, Florida Territories.
Grand Rising, welcome, nobility.
Where's my paperwork?
Grand Rising.
James Michael, Illinois Territory.
Dorothy
Grand
Bay.
Rising.
Susanna Akira Bay, Colorado Territory.
Grand Rising.
Islam.
Grand Rising.
Radio, right? Okay, thank you.
Rennie Clark, Trinidad. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising. Grand Rising, Trinidad Territory. Grand Rising. I am so excited. I don't even. Let's see.
Islam, everyone.
Grand Rising, welcome.
Islam.
We have about another minute or two, and then we will get started.
Wow.
We just want to give those who are coming in an opportunity to come on up.
Islam, Valerie Bay, Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, Empress. Okay, there is a little bit of an echo, so I'm going to go ahead and... Grand Rising.
Islam, this is Justice Donaya L.
Grand Rising, Empress.
Grand Rising.
Okay. Today is Thursday, June 4th, 1440 on the sun calendar and 1441 on the moon calendar. And we have so many other cycles and calendars in our nation that is just unbelievable. I'm finding out that we have a calendar for each one of the signs in the zodiac. So we have calendars for everything, and we have the ability to set those calendars at our will and change them as we so desire. We're that powerful that we can change the calendar. Grand Rising.
Islam, Grand Rising, Thomas Bay, Indiana Republic.
Grand Rising. I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone so that we can get started. Islam.
Hey. Gregory Dwayne, right? Alabama Territory.
Grand Rising. Okay, I've gone ahead and muted everyone so that we can get started, and then we'll unmute. And you can feel free to unmute yourself, *6, when you're ready to say something, because this is interactive. For starters, I just want to say to ignore the noise out there. It's a little bit of noise out there. It's not a whole lot. Okay, that's not even true. It's a lot of noise out there, but you know what? Ignore the noise. We are entering the best, the most powerful, the highest, the most prosperous time ever for our nation. Know that. That is 1 zillion% the truth. A lot of that noise that you hear out there is because they know what we're doing and what we're about to do. Okay, so we are squarely focused on nation building, 100. So the noise that's out there, just ignore it, let it go on into the ether, and do something productive out in the ether to help us grow as a nation, because that's how that works. We appreciate the noise too, because it's going to do nothing more than make us better as a nation, as government. So where are we? And I'll give just a quick synopsis, and then we will move forward, because I have a question to ask you. And the question, so that you can be thinking about it while we're kind of giving an update, is this. Name one thing in our nation that you think is missing, or we don't have enough of, or we need more of, or that we could do better at. That's the question for the Moors heirs today. Name one thing in our nation that you think is missing, or we don't have enough of, or that we could do better at. And when I say we, I'm talking about all of us, not just any one sovereign. I'm talking about all the sovereigns. What can we as a nation do better? What's missing? What do you see that we could do better, and what can we, how can we get better? That's the question. So be thinking about that, and then I'll just go over just a few things that we are have going on. So where are we? Right now, as it stands and as we stand, we are the foundation for the greatest wealth manifestation the earth has ever witnessed. Know that that is true. We have competently terminated all corporate contracts, which means we've terminated all debt. And as you can see, in many instances, the debt is going away. We have a few more things that we're going to tweak and fix and uplift so that all of it is gone. And it's already gone. We just have to proclaim it competently. That's all we have to do. And so with the termination of the corporate contracts, this sovereign action alone has prepared us for the manifestation of our great and wealthy estate. Those who have proclaimed their nationality and terminated all corporate contracts can prosper in any conditions because debt does not exist for us. So no matter what the conditions are, no matter what they are, we can prosper in those conditions, and we can grow, and we can govern, etc. So now we need to use our third eye, along with these two eyes that we've been given, and the two ears that have manifested, to discern the growth conditions that we're in right now. Okay? Because right now, everything is primed for our growth, okay? Everything is primed for our growth. Everything is ready. The foundation is already laid. All we have to do now is speak competently and watch everything that we say come to pass. And really, it's already come to pass. We just have to watch and know and discern that it has manifested. And that's not a gift that happens overnight. It happens over time for some. For some, it does happen overnight. Some come in with their third eye open already. Okay, and the prophet talked about those more that were going to come in with their eyes wide open and set the old ones in the back. Okay, and so that eye, that discernment must be there for you to see that the conditions are prime and optimal for us to completely take everything and just do what it as we will. Okay. So it has been wisely stated, never let a good crisis go to waste. Now, we as Moors, we're not in crisis. There's no such thing as crisis for us. No such thing. Okay? But there are some who are claiming that there is a quote-unquote coronavirus crisis, et cetera, or an economic crisis. There isn't. There is not. There is no crisis. There is, right now, time for us to take complete control, and we've already done that. The Moors have already done it. It's a wrap. With each and every demonstration that's been done, it has broken and cast spells that we needed to break and cast in order for the right information to come to us so that we can move forward with full control and full possession of our estate. We're there right now. And this is not the first time in history that we've been here. We've been here many times before. And I'll prove that in a minute. So no matter what happens, no matter what happens, we can use it for our growth and prosperity. There are some things that have happened that we needed to know how to get past those things. And so they happened so that we could focus on, okay, how do we get past this? How do we get past this? And that is why things happen. They happen so that we know how to get past them. Okay? Simply, merely test for the heirs so that we know our authority and so that we know our sovereign power. In the chat, I see that there is, and this is just a quick, I see that there is a court action that is going to be happening. We want to make sure that we always announce the court action so that all Moors can attend them and witness them so that they can learn how to do the same thing. Court action, Justice Welton Isaiah Bay is doing a court action on June 11th, 2020, 1440, at 3:30 Central Time, which is 4:30 Eastern Time. The dial-in number for that court action is 425-436-6200, and the access code is 189766, and that is Justice Wilton Turk, and the online ID. So when you go into freeconferencecall.com, if you want to sign on your computer, you can put in Wilton Turk 601 as the meeting ID, online meeting ID, and then you can and he will you'll be able to witness the court action, which is just awesome. There's also Justice Malik L has a court action as well on June 5th, which is tomorrow. There are several court actions on June 5th, 2020 at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard, and I really should be letting you all announce your own court actions. Dial-in number, so I'll give you an opportunity just in case there are some who are not in. I'll give you an opportunity just like in a little while to announce your own court action, okay? Because I just don't feel right doing it. I think that you should speak because no one represents the Moors. Dial in number 425-436-6340. So I'm merely assisting. Access code 464260. Okay? And we'll have you to repeat those court actions for the heirs in just a moment so that we can make sure that the Moors can attend. Okay, so where are we? So no matter what happens, we can use it for our growth and prosperity. So if you perceive something as quote unquote bad, yes, Empress Malo, we'll get yours announced as well. And actually you can announce it yourself, Empress. If you perceive something as bad, then that's just a perception and not necessarily the truth of the matter. And in fact, as you know, we have higher self and lower self. So good and bad, those are just perceptions. That's it. Anything that happens can be used to make us better, stronger, faster. Okay? We can learn and grow in commerce and as a nation and in every other way, no matter what, because we've done so for trillions and trillions and trillions of years. There never was a time when we were not. We've always been here. We've always ruled and governed, and that's what we're doing now. So when we're observing a situation in our nation and our government, we must always know that it can be changed by us at any time. Any situation, no matter what it is, it can be changed by us at any time. When we are proactive and prepared, we cannot be stopped, okay? Now, with where we are right now, where it looks like everything has ground to a halt, like our prophet said, we've been here before, in a sense, okay? The greatest fortunes, and they were actually perceived fortunes, that we witnessed, that we actually it seems like we were looking at them when we were in our sleep, were made during these types of conditions back in between 1913 and 1933. It looked like there was a Great Depression, but the foundation was being laid for that whole fiat system, for them to do whatever they did. And that was simply a perceived situation. It was not the real deal. This is the real deal. So it's going to, the noise out there is going to say, well, and they don't even, the noise is saying one thing about, oh, this is bad and that's bad. It's not. Not for us. That is where the separation is being made. We are now set up, and been set up since time immemorial, really, to do exactly what we were put here to do, which is govern everything. 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 All resources, all land, all commerce, all of that is happening right now for us. We have to have terminated the corporate contracts. As long as we've done that,
the problem is, Pauline,
hold on for just a moment. And as long as we've terminated corporate contracts, we're good. Terminate the corporate contracts, and then put declare your nationality. Not only that, put those authorities that we've just recently put out there, put them on the public record. Put them on the public record, those authorities. One of the authorities is unum sanctum. We've put that in its proper place. We've also put those doing business as quote unquote governors, et cetera, and all of that. All of that is put in its proper place, because that was actually supposed to be for the Moors anyway. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be for us anyway. We were always supposed to be the governors. We always were the governors. Always have been and always will be. We're the mayors, okay, in all lowercase letters. We're the presidents in all lowercase letters, okay? We're all of that in all lowercase letters, all of it. We've always been the Pope, quote unquote, in all lowercase letters. We've always been that. So when you talk about when you talk about the Pope, they say that, you know, we were always in, you know, the Vatican, et cetera, et cetera. We were. We are. We never left. All we had to do was know how to say it. That's it. We just had to know how to say it. And now we do know how to say it. So when we're proactive, we cannot be stopped. The greatest fortunes that we have seen or that we perceptively seen is they were made when the conditions were just like they are right now. Okay? Just like they are right now. So we're there now, and we've laid the foundation as a nation, and it was an ancient foundation anyway. So we can now prosper only in our rightful place as creditors to all nations on the earth. Okay? And some of that energy is already manifesting for all of us, really. Because if you think about it, just think for a minute, Morris. Those ones that were doing business as quote-unquote government are not doing business anymore. They're finished. They're done, okay? They're done. They're finished. And the thing about them being finished is that everyone is still eating. Everyone is still in place, okay? So we don't have to worry about any of that. We don't have to worry about that. What we have to do now is go ahead and take hold right where we are of the authority that we have, and then send those affidavits of command out, the affidavits for command out, okay? So, again, for many of us, we thought that if they were not, quote unquote, in control, which they never were, that we would never get to this point that we're at right now. But remember, they're not governing. They never were. Everything is shut down. And guess what? We're still here. We're still here. And it's been that way for, oh, wow. Well, let's just perceptively, some perceive it as having been that way since February. It's really been that way since the beginning. But some can even go back to when they, quote unquote, shut down in February of last year and never announced the reopening. Why? Because they don't exist. They really were never doing anything except doing what we're doing now, and that's speaking. That's all they ever did was speak. And they weren't even talking to us then. They were talking to the dead. We just had to know. Let me tell you how just simple it is. It's as simple as when we declare our nationality. Our faces did not change. And if, you know, things did not change, so to speak, around us, the energy changed, definitely, which changes everything. But we have to know that. But when we declared our nationality, we just put it on a piece of paper and put it on the public record, and then we began being Moorish American nationals. That's what changed. Is what we are when we be what we are, if that makes any sense. Okay, that's what changes is our behavior. And knowing who we are changes everything. Everything. That is how we continue to move. And let's see, it's not the way to do that is to continue to work on opening of the pineal gland, the third eye. Okay, and that's gonna, that's gonna call for more water. That's the basis of the pineal gland opening up is filtration. So we have to drink more water, and then the study mixed with the water and the changing of the energies around you that has happened since you declared your nationality, that is enough for the ancestors to fill that which might have been seen as a void. Nature abhors a vacuum. It actually abhors a void. So we cannot leave a void anywhere. That's why we had to do unum sanctum, so that we know for ourselves that there's no pope over us. We're over everything. So that's what unum sanctum was about, because we know that that was a fake perception of them being over us. Never was over us, never were and never will be. Okay? Never were and never will be. But we had to state that properly. That's it. State it and then do the same thing. Okay? Absolutely in the chat. They are reduced. And they're not even really, they're non-existent at this point. Non-existent, not for us. We're self-governing. What do we need them for? Nothing. And we're going to see as we continue with these steps, we're already the governors in our lowercase letters. We're already that. We're already the presidents. That means all of us, all Moors are the presidents. All. We have all of that. Because, see, remember, we're the ones who gave that office any authority at all. We did that. And we've taken it back. Okay? And in fact, it never left us. We're the ones who did that. And all we're doing now is proclaiming, okay, we're the presidents and the governors and the mayors and the pope and we're all of that because we're sovereign. We can be all of that. All wrapped up in one. Okay? And over the next few days and weeks, we're going to be putting out information and affidavits about how in reality, and this is crucial, hear me out. In reality, we're the CEOs too. We can actually take that position and do whatever we will with it. As long as we're acting in a governmental, and not acting, as long as we're being the government in that manner, we can tell them what to do. We can tell the subjects and that system what to do. We can, absolutely. So there's no authority higher, there's no one higher, there's no than the Moors. No one. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Islam. And so for those who have, I've seen some of the documents going on the record, which I just clapped when I see them, of those empresses and emperors who've taken on that governmental role as governors, as mayors, as hold on for just a moment. There's a little bit of tapping going on in the background. As governors and as mayors and as, all of that. Secretaries for sovereign state and sovereign attorney general. And, we spell it differently because that's a different spell that we're casting. Okay. And so now that, and by the way, with regard to writing and typing in ancient English, because some Moors are still, looking at that concept. Islam Empress. In the chat, Empress Michelle is saying that in her territory, they're taking down Confederate statues and cleaning things up for us before they leave. Islam, that is absolutely 100. They're doing that everywhere because they already know. We know who we are now. I was reading a document the other day that said that, and I know this to be true because we're doing it right now and it's manifesting, that when those, the fakes came over here, those corpses came over, the Moors were already the titans of commerce. We were already that. But somewhere along the way, we decided we didn't want to do the work anymore, right? We didn't want to send out the documents and stuff. And I know all that was the spirit of sleep coming on us so that we can go to sleep, get the modifications that our ancestors have for us, which just give us superpowers, by the way. The superpowers of perception and instruction and helpfulness and prophecy and all of that. Guidance, compassion, etc. And so we got tired of it, and guess what the occupiers did? They actually assigned quote unquote Confederate soldiers to take those positions as heads of the corporation, the companies actually. And all they did was capitalize the documents and start sending stuff out. That's all they did. And next thing you know, it was looking like, oh, and that's some of the information that I got from the information that Empress Michelle shared last week about Pacer. In doing a little bit more research in that, all they did in the 1930s was capitalize the documents for the companies that we had built and for the commerce that we were doing. They capitalized it and then just went on and acted as if that was the real thing when it wasn't. And that's where the fiat came in at. They had to have a medium of exchange that did not require and I can't even say it didn't require our signature because it did. They just got it through other means, threat, duress, and coercion type of stuff, you know. Pull them over and get them to sign something. That's the only way you're going to get consent from the air. That's how that happened. And now that we're not giving that consent anymore, we don't have to worry about that. Okay? So that writing and typing in our ancient English, because that's the way I'm sending out my affidavits now. And when you're ready, you can deal with that one. There are many more who are already doing it because this is what that does. Okay, as you know, we are the Phoenicians, we're the Greeks, we're the ones who came up with all of the languages. Okay, and what that does is using writing and speaking in ancient English opens up the portal in our superconsciousness that accesses the ancient languages that have been long held within us in our Akashic records. And those Akashic records are carried in our ONA, in our makeup. It's carried on a cellular level. Okay? And there's a portal that unlocks it. And the use of ancient English, just because it's so different from what we've been programmed to use, is unlocking that portal. Okay? And so that is the beginning of both writing, seeing, and understanding the languages that are held within our cellular makeup. That's how you access it, is you start using it from its very basic form, which is however we say. Okay? And so it's funny because the other day I was on my computer looking at some things that came up on YouTube. You know how YouTube makes suggestions or whatever. And they suggested something where that C-SPAN was doing, where it was like the Italian legislature, quote unquote. and it's corporate, so that doesn't even exist. But I was looking at it, and they had the closed captioning on where you could see the words at the bottom typed out based on what he was saying. And I've never taken Italian speaking lessons, but I could understand a lot of what he was saying, which was a shock to me. But a lot of what the spellings are the spellings that we're already using in the ancient English by just pulling them from our Akashic records. A lot of the other languages spell the very same way that we do when we're just messing around and just, you know, typing up something or whatever, you know, and that's not really messing around. That's actually how that process happens, how that portal opens. But no one can open that portal for you, though. You have to be willing to open it yourself, you know. And using ancient English and writing it we've only been doing that about 2 months. And really, we've always been speaking it because we thought when we spoke it meant one thing and they didn't get it. It meant something totally different to them. So we've always been speaking ancient English. We didn't know we were speaking it. And that's why we were not saying the same thing as the colonizers, you know. But they knew. We did not know. But we know now. So, or at least we did not recognize that that was what was going on, you know. And so I'm excited about that part because I'm looking at all of the other languages now, and it's almost like I have a translator going on in here. And I'm starting to understand what they are saying in writing, which is automatically going to translate into what is being spoken. Okay. So we're at that place now that we were at in 1913 and 1933, except we did what we presumed the Federal Reserve did back then. We've done it now with gold-backed lawful coinage. And now all we have to do is continue to move in the direction that we're moving in right now. And it's going to be very, very fluid and very simple, very easy to make the transition back to who we really are. We've already transitioned. It's like, you know, they say once your mind expands, it cannot shrink back into something small, you know, like a corporate corpse status. Okay. So, Empress Malo, do you want to go ahead and announce your court action, and also Justice Malik, do you want to announce your court action again for those who were not here at that time, and also Justice Wilson? Do you all go ahead, Empress Malo? Go ahead. You can announce yours first because that is most important because that's governing. So we have to get that in, and then we'll announce it once more at the end. And Justice Jonaya, I think, has one as well. So, Empress Malo, I yield the floor. And you can just star 6. Let me see if I can find it.
Layla Mojo, Arizona Territory, Grand Rising, everyone. Yes, court action Monday, June 8th. At 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and for those in Arizona, that's 12 o'clock Arizona time. The number to call in is 518-425-1624. There is no pen needed. The online meeting is the last part it's the same. If the last part is Malo, Mrojo _EL _Washita _Bay. I yield.
If Justice Wilson.
If court action will be this coming
Thursday, June the 11th. It'll be at 3:30 Central Standard Time, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. The dial-in number is 425-436-6200. Access number 189766. And for those that want to come online, you can come to Wilton Turk 601. WILTON TURK 601. Thank you.
Islam and Justice Malik.
Islam, everyone. Grand rising to the Moors. Okay, so the court action is tomorrow, June 5th, 2020, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. PST. Dial-in number is 425-436-6340. Access code is 464260. And for those of you online, it would be Uni Basketball Verse. It's UNIBASKETBALLVERSE. And I also want to remind everybody that tomorrow is the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. And then you have another one coming up June 21st. So these are the best times to take action, to send out affidavits and so on, because you have the force of the universe behind these actions. Grand Rising.
Islam, thank you for that. Yes, yes. Tomorrow is not only the holy day, but it's eclipse day. And I don't know about you all, but I'm so excited about that. I'm sending out an affidavit too. I'll let y'all know. I already know they got to do it. Anyway, let me, Justice Jonaya, do you want to announce yours or no? Or you just put it in an email?
I had to unmute myself. I was muted.
Sorry.
Actually, I'm doing a court action for another Moor that I guess she's just, I don't know her that well, of course. I've just been communicating with her via email, and she was wanting if someone could do it, and I said I would do it for her. But her appellation is Diane Peoples, L, and it's going to be on her platform, which is the https://join.freeconferencecall.com/Moorish Nation. Dial-in number is 978-990-5000. So that's, I think there's one too many zero. Access code is 857916. The court action is, like I said, Friday the 5th, or if I didn't say it, it's Friday the 5th, which is tomorrow, at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe that's it. I did send out notices already, but I will also put it in the chat. I yield.
Islam. Justice Gaband Bey, do you want to go ahead and unmute, *6 to unmute, and announce your court action as well?
Yes. Islam. I have a court action on June 11th at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. The call-in number is 425-436-6345, and the access code is 515404 #. Islam.
Islam. Thank you so much for that. Islam. Court actions in the domicile. Islam. Are there any other court actions? Because that is top priority of our nation. That's one of the top priorities. We have several top priorities, but that definitely is one of the main top priorities right there. Is governing. Yes.
This is just Nationale. Can I interject?
Yes.
I was trying to actually put it in the chat, but for some reason it's not accepting it, so it's not in there. So if anyone needs to or wants to be on the call, they could put their email in there, and I'll send them the information. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to reprint or just copy and paste the court actions that were. I'll copy and paste it into the chat, because if you sign on a little late, you won't be able to see them. There's one right there. That's Justice. It's in the chat, Justice Wilkins. And then there's also, let me see. I'll copy and paste also Justice Malik court action. Is this, just a moment, let me put that in the chat also. That's Justice Malik's court action in the chat as well. And then Justice Gabond is his court action. I'll put his, and Justice Malo, let me put yours in as well. Here it is. Justice Malo. Moorishe, you do want to get in on these court actions, I'm telling you. You do want to get in on them, because that is actually how government is done. That's why everyone who was in the quote-unquote fake Congress was an attorney. Every one of them. Because they know that that is how the estate is managed. That's how it's governed. Okay? So all the court actions are in the chat as well, so that you can see them there. Okay? And I'm going to do a massive copy and paste here.
Islam, can I say something?
Sure, sure.
First, I want to give honors to Justice Jonaya for taking on that task. And I would like to see others do that if they are able, so that we can get more things done at a faster pace. Because truly some Moors aren't there, although we'd like to see everyone get to that point. But we want to keep the momentum going. So anyone else who feels like Sister Jonai is willing to do, someone else's court action, it would be a benefit to all of us, so that we can continue to move. And anyone else who's comfortable, we should do what we're comfortable doing. That's how we can really assist each other, in my opinion. And Islam, I yield.
Yes. Islam.
Thank you, Sister Michelle.
Islam. This is Thomas L. Bay, Indiana Territory. Islam.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, let's making sure you guys can hear me. Is there any way to get the court actions posted in the Facebook group? I'm actually working right now, and I can't really write them down or anything like that.
Empress Malo, don't you normally post in the Facebook groups as well?
Islam, I usually post it in the Facebook group. I can post the others also. as I know about them. So I'll put them in there also.
Mm-hmm.
It's the North American Consulate, Arizona Territory. I usually post things there, and then I share it to all the other consulates.
But so hers will be posted in there as well. We need for everyone to, as many as possible, to exercise their own sovereignty, though. We don't really want to get too far into other people doing things for us. We are here to assist one another so that we can stand and govern, you know. And so, yes, we're here to assist. Absolutely, absolutely we're here to assist. We're assisting one another in standing. Islam,
Empress, Mike, I just want to make a comment, if I may.
Yes. Yes.
And I think what might be happening, and some of the other Moors can probably speak up and say whether or not, is that when you did recommend to everyone, do what's comfortable to you, and you do have to step up and do things for yourself. And I think sometimes they may get a little intimidated because there's pros like Michelle and Malik and some of the others. They need to understand you don't have to speak Latin. You don't have to read the Latin. And I think that they may think that they have to do that, you know. And so, I'm not even. I can't pronounce that, and I can't.
Yes.
So they shy away. So I just wanted to put out there to them is that there's a script that you can read and you can practice with, but you don't have to do anything or say anything that's not comfortable for you or to you. I yield.
Islam, that is correct. That is absolutely correct. I want to be sure that is out there as well, simply because, you know, we are coming out of, you know, being programmed, etc. You know, and some come out sooner, and some come out. They have to take it a certain way because of the way they process information, and that's neither one of those is good or bad. Neither one is good or bad. There is no good or bad. There is just what is. Okay, and so we do want to honor the level of comfort. However, we are being called out of our comfort zone. I can tell you that firsthand, because jail is not comfortable for some of us. You know, in this learning process that we've been going through, and again, not all Moors have to go there. That's the beauty of this. And with what's going on right now, most of us that are coming along, the heirs that are coming along, will not have to do that. All they have to do is, declare their nationality and then begin to create and to grow and do what they love and make their whole earth better. They're not going to have to worry about a lot of that stuff. However, we have to tell them how it was done. We have to know the processes by which it's being done, you know, etc. We have to know that, and we have to pass that down and pass it up, rather, and never, never forget who we are again, so that we never have to go through this again. Okay? So that's how. You're absolutely correct, Empress Nalo. Absolutely correct. There it is. Justice Joniah put it in the chat as well, her court action. And I want to be sure that we get those into the social media platforms so that everyone will know about them, and the Moors can attend, because there are Moors who are learning from each and every court action that's going on, you know. So, all right. Now, very important announcement I have for us before we go into getting sharing about the question that I posed earlier. Very important announcement for all Empresses. All Empresses, next week on June 10th, and it will be at noon Eastern Standard Time, right here on this channel, on this free conference call online channel. We're going to have, it's Empresses only, so heirs, please tell the Empresses that you know so that they can attend as well. We're going to have, we're going to all be able to sit at the feet of Empress Delilah Passiel and learn some of those foundational principles that we need to know and repeat and pass up to our heirs. We have to keep the information going because that's how we got into what we are out of now. The information was not being passed along. And we're ending that. That's done. It's finished. We're passing the information out freely, and she is willing to come and to put some of those principles out there for us to know and to hear. And so I'm excited about that. It's going to be here on this free conference call, and let me go ahead and make this, okay. So this free conference call number is the call-in number is 605-313-5111. The access is 368903. The online meeting ID is Light Bay Moorish Nation 1, okay? And it's going to be, again, at 12 noon Eastern Time, which is 9 a.m. Pacific Time, okay? Empress Delilah Passiel, who is a pillar in the Moorish nation. She's going to come and give the Empresses some information. I found out some stuff in sitting at her feet that my mind is blown about that whole Empress energy and what it means and what that's all about. I mean, I did not know, and I don't think I mean, there's so much, the more we find out, the less we're like, I need to know more. I need to know more. So there's so much to know about us. We're going to be at this for the next 1,000+ into perpetuity years of learning more and more about us as a nation, as empresses, as emperors, as, you know, the heirs, etc. This is a beautiful time for us. It's a beautiful time for us. We cannot go wrong. We can only get better. We can only rise higher and faster and stronger all together. So the unity is here already. It's already here. We don't have to go looking around for it. It's already here. And all we have to do is continue to foster the environment for that. Okay? So Islam and the Empresses, listen, it's a wrap. And Grand Sheikh Tariq Bey said this a while back. He said that when the Empresses get it, it's a wrap, it's done. He said that a while back, and he's absolutely right about that. He's always right, but he was right about that for sure. So let's, next week on Wednesday, okay, at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. My mind is still blown by some of the things she told me this week about our nation and about who we are. I mean, so, okay, the question that we asked earlier for you to think about before, let me get back to let me just make sure I'm back where I'm supposed to be. Okay. The question that I asked earlier that I wanted you to think about so that we can discuss it as a nation and as governments and governors, et cetera, et cetera. The question is, name one thing in our nation that you think is missing or that we don't have enough of or that we need more of, or that we could do better, okay? And I know the list is long for some, because I think we have everything we need. In fact, I know we have everything we need. We just need to identify it and then start using it. So, *6 to respond. Name one thing in our nation, one thing that you think is missing, and we'll just go down and just listen to everything that everyone has to say about that. Islam. *6 to unmute. And I'm just going to make a list.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't have to do no *6. This is Vandoria.
Yes.
And I wanted to, I was wondering if we can come together. I'm not very good with this social distancing stuff. So I was wondering if we can come together like every other month or every 6 months or something. That's the only thing that came to mind for the question you asked. Thank you, I yield.
Islam. So a meeting in person, Islam. Not in person, appropriate persona to jurists.
Islam.
Islam.
Our own schools.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Islam. Anyone else?
Islam.
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 Go ahead, Empress. Wait a minute, hold on for just a moment. Let the Empress go first. Yes, we can hear you, Empress.
All right, thank you. I'm pretty new here, and so I don't know a whole lot, but I do know that I've had a really hard time with being able to get into contact with the people that are listed, help people get nationalized. So I finally had a breakthrough last Sunday, and I just don't think the communication went well. So another question is I need to connect with someone who could help me. So the communication needs to improve, and I think some of the promptness needs to improve. When people are coming in, they're ready. I've watched every single one of your videos. I've made my adult children do it. It's been very enjoyable, and because it's taken so long, and, when I do call and talk to someone, they're hanging up on me and not calling back, and I've left messages. My children are watching this. When I do talk to someone, they're making rude comments, about, oh, you're coughing, and then again, and I know better, and I've taught my children better. So I think that, some of these behaviors and respectfulness needs to be there. And if they don't know how to do that, maybe they should choose not to put themselves in, in front of people. Because I'm not going to be able to get my young adult children back. And it's embarrassing to me in front of them. So that's a journey they're going to have to take now. But I would still like to get my nationality paperwork done. And I think there needs to be somebody else maybe in place so that when this kind of stuff does occur, there's somebody else to go to.
Yes. Islam. That is what these calls are for, is to put others in place as well. We need all hands on deck. Thank you for that. We needed to hear that. We have remedy too.
Thank you.
On this call, there's enough more to where someone can assist. And state your appellation, Empress.
Sarah, Bearthright Bay.
Yes.
I've chosen Sarah as a Bay, but for right now it's still Sarah.
Yes. Okay.
And I absolutely, as a personal need, I absolutely need the men or males here to behave like men. I've done a really good job with my young adult children. I have 2 sons and 2 daughters, and we've been able to identify, especially in our community, what is feminine behavior, what's inappropriate, and my sons take pride in being men, and I don't want a man in front of me behaving like a woman, a bad woman. Oh, I've been furious about it.
Islam. Okay. So I think Justice Abbasi is that for this Empress here, in terms of the nationality piece, because Justice Abbasi, he does he's one of the several consular post heads who does nationality documents and identification and all of that. And let me give you his number. He's posted it here in the chat. Justice Abbasi, do you want to go ahead with that?
Islam. This is Justice Abbasi Tali Faye, Southeast Territory. I'll be more than happy to help anyone who want to proclaim their nationality. Just give me a call.
Okay.
Okay.
What is your number?
I try to give
Do you
it.
have a phone?
Phone number is 813.
813.
407.
107?
407. 407.
40. Okay.
1890. Okay. 813 407 1890.
Okay. And could you tell me your appellation again?
Abbasi, Abasi. TALIBBEY. The email is the same. Just add @Gmail.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
All right.
Islam. And thank you for bringing that out, Empress. We need to hear, we need to know so that we can get it fixed. Islam.
Okay.
There are enough Moors on this call alone to assist with all the phone calls that come in and with all of the people wanting to be nationalized. You know, the ones that are listed on the website, they get a lot of calls and things like that, and that's not a complaint. It's actually, we love it. We can't get to everyone because there's only a few of us on there, but there's enough on these calls to help everybody who needs nationality. Right. And that's what the calls are for, and I'm so grateful for Moors who step up to assist their brothers and sisters, because there's just so many, and we haven't even gotten to the influx of Moors that are coming. Okay, so thank you, Justice Abbasi, for stepping up there. Islam. Go ahead. Someone else is going to speak.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. To bring my people back into the fold of our government. Islam.
Yes, Islam.
I just wanted to say, I wanted to ask if there was anyone on the call who had the opposite experience that they could share. That when
Could
they
you
called
repeat
someone,
that, Michelle? Michelle,
yes,
what was that?
is there anyone on the call who had the opposite experience, whereas they called someone to aid them and they had a positive experience? People aid.
You know, I think, Empress Michelle, and this is for everyone, I don't think it would be this many people on the call if people have not been helped. You know, we know that we don't have any insecurities there about whether we're helping people or not. We know we are, because our hearts are in it. Our hearts are there. And anytime the sovereigns put their hearts into something, it's going to flourish. It's going to flourish. So it's actually kind of like a good issue to have, sort of. Not really, but sort of. Because that means there's so many people being helped and so many who want to be helped, and we have to open that up for everyone to help everyone. Everyone who needs nationality paperwork should have it. Everyone who needs IDs should have it, have national IDs. We got enough people on this call alone to assist the ones that are waiting. Islam.
Well,
so that's another something that our nation, and I'm making a list here, can't reach anyone, process improvement, etc. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So with regard to the question, go ahead,
yes.
Empress, go ahead.
Speaking of connecting, someone got a hold of me who is in prison and is needing some information. So should I direct them to you, Justice Abbasi, or is there anyone else who would be better in a better position to help them? from that angle?
Yes. Well,
May I respond to that?
Yes.
May I respond? Okay.
Yes, yes. Now, they got my information from this call because I don't know who they are.
Okay. So that happens quite a bit to all of us, actually, just from us being out, you know, assisting others. And the only thing that they need really from the beginning, and this is anyone, this is not just those who are incarcerated. From the very beginning, what they really need to focus on is their nationality paperwork and overstanding that paperwork. The name change and the judicial proclamation is enough to get anyone started because they have so much information on them. Once you send them that, it is incumbent upon them to do the study from there on. You see?
Yes.
And so we can basically, our job is to, like the prophet said, if you do nothing else, nationalize. Declare your nationality. That is how we are to assist in its most pure form. The most pure form is for us to give them the paperwork and say, here you go. You are a Moorish American national. Study and read these documents and let the ancestors lead you from that point. We don't leave them hanging because we're a whole nation. But there are videos out there, video after video after video after video after video by many different Moors. And if they can go onto the website and get information there, they can go to the videos as well and get information there. Okay? So we can give them that. There's enough tools out there already for them to get started. And then as we continue to put the tools out there, then they can get their tools from there. That's what nation building is get them started. At least let them know they're Moors. We need to know we're Moors first. And then the three things that I basically make sure that I emphasize is the name change, the judicial proclamation, the termination of corporate contracts. Those three things right there, and there's, again, hours and hours and days and weeks of video out there that they can look at. Direct them to those videos and tell them to go look at those videos because there's information out there. That's why even when the camera's not working, we put the video out there because that's information, and those who really want the information will take the time to look at those videos, just like many of us did with Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey's videos and RV Bey's videos, etc. We took the time to look at those videos, okay, before this consulate, this arm of the consulate became as active, you know. We took the time to look at the videos, saw what our nation needed, and said, let's get busy. There's enough information out there for everyone to at least declare your nationality and then find out what your nation needs and then get busy. Get busy doing it.
May I interject?
Islam. Sure.
Islam, everyone. I know that the most important thing is to know that you are a natural living being above all else, because
a Moorish American as well. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to add that. Because knowing yourself as a natural living being is above knowing yourself as a Moor. Corporation and natural living beings do not mix. The corporation do not have jurisdiction over a living being. So by you saying just your abolition, because that can become, they can turn that into a straw as well. And if you don't know the difference between an abolition, a name or title, which is not you, then they know that you do not know who you are. Knowing who you are, knowing that you are a living, breathing being. That is the most important. The other thing is that you should always present along with your paperwork and nationality is the writ of discovery, where you are demanding for them to show proof that they have the authority, but they don't have the authority because a corporation cannot give authority to a corporation. So you know that when I say that corporation and the living don't mix, they don't mix. And once you get that understanding, I know that this is the biggest problem that people are having, is that they don't know who they are. I yield.
Islam. So with regard to that, let me just say that the indigenous, original, Moorish American nationals are the living. We are the living.
Do they know that? I know, yes, true.
That's our job. That is our job. That's our job. That's our job for ourselves. It's not our job for anyone else. It's our job for ourselves to know that the original indigenous Moorish Americans are the living. Okay? That's why we're here. That's why we're declaring and proclaiming our nationality. If corpses could have declared a nationality and gotten and done away with the errors, they would have. They were not able to do that because they're not us. They're corpses, corporations. Okay? So let's be clear about that they could not declare a nationality because they don't have one until we say what we say and we do what we do in terms of that. Then they become Moorish subjects ipso jure. Okay, so we want to be sure that we delineate, because you can say living being all day, every day. You could say that. You could say that.
Right. Right.
But that doesn't necessarily make that the case for someone who's a corpse.
It doesn't make it the case. Someone that doesn't know what it means when they say that they're a natural human being.
Islam, Justice Abbasi. Justice Abbasi.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, and we can't forget jurisdiction, okay? Because that's where it starts at. If they don't have any jurisdiction over you, they can't do anything. And being under the jurisdiction of Morocco, Northern's jurisdiction is higher. So that's something else we have to teach our people. They can't adjudicate you without proving jurisdiction. With that, I yield.
That's true. It goes together.
Now,
that's true. They go together.
I am hearing in Justice Jonaya. Am I hearing something about with regard to Albion? Is that where you're going with that living, breathing piece?
No. No, what I'm saying that even like you said, you can say I'm a natural living being, Moorish American national. You can say that all day, but then you turn around and they ask you.
Well, that's true when the Moors say it. It's true the minute we say it.
I know it's true.
But for a corpse, it's not.
I know it's true.
I just wanted to be sure that was, for a corpse, it's not. You know, it's not until certain things take place, and those things haven't taken place yet.
Well, let me give you an example.
Get there.
What I'm trying to convey is, say they pull you over. Like in your instance, like when you first got pulled over back in 2017, and you handed them your license, and you know that you're a Moorish American national, but yet they took you in anyway. It wasn't until
I did not know that they didn't have jurisdiction. So I want to be sure that that's known, that at that time I was only 5 months old with Moorish nationality. And I did not know then that I didn't have to give him nothing.
Right.
But okay, go ahead. And you're right about that.
Was a point,
the Moors need to know.
There was a point when you were in the POD camp that you realized that they did not have authority, and you realized that they were not talking to you. There's a certain, I don't say knowingness that overpowers anything else that you say. So it's a way in which I would say that your conviction to show them that you know that they don't have the jurisdiction. Because like I said, all these things you can say, but if you're still consenting in ways that you don't have an understanding, then they know that you don't know who you are, you don't know, you're not competent, in other words. So it's important. Like a lot of other Moors getting pulled over, but from just talking with corporate people and talking with police and forces over the phone, the conversation never goes past letting them know that, well, it never goes past me not giving them any information, which is the questions that they ask you to find out where you are. And mostly, I always just say, I'm not giving you any information, I'm not in your jurisdiction. And that's about as far as it goes. So it's the knowing what to say and when to say it and how to say it. I yield.
In reality, and that's good. That is exactly the point of affidavits. Is we speak by affidavit. I don't talk to them on the phone. Why do I need to talk to them on the phone? They're only going to lie. And the way that they lie is they can only speak to corpses, okay? That's why it seems like they're lying. But for the corpses, what they're saying is actually the truth. For the corpses, because, see, they know corpses don't have any rights. They know citizens don't have rights. They know that. And that's why they say and do what they say and do to them. So I don't talk to them on the phone because I'm not their citizen. I just send the affidavit. Okay? So we want to stay on, yes, that's absolutely, Moors are learning who they are. That's part of this whole wake-up process. But do not abhor the testing, because the testing is happening regardless. We're going to be tested in that manner. That's why we're here to assist those who haven't been tested yet, or who have been tested, or who are in the middle of testing. And testing may not come by way of a policy enforcer. It may come by way of, a foreclosure or, some perceived thing like that, because foreclosures aren't real. We know that. Neither are policy enforcers. They're not really, they have no authority. None whatsoever. And that's why we've done what we've done with unum sanctum and with that governor in all lowercase letters and sovereign attorney general in all lowercase letters and sovereign secretary for sovereign state and sovereign mayor. That's why we put all of that on the public record to tell those that were acting in those capacities, because they're not acting in those capacities where the Moors are concerned anymore. That's all us. We all took that back. All Moors took that back. That's why we say what we say, and that goes in alignment with what you said, Empress, about knowing who you are. We know we're the governors and mayors and secretaries for sovereign state and all of that. We're all of that in all lowercase letters. Been that, never were not that. We're the authority on the earth in all capacities. That's why we put that stuff out there. And that those sovereign that we know who we are.
Islam?
And we're about to take that to even higher levels. We're about to ascend with that in greater ways. Islam. Okay, so again, someone else, because I want to get this list, I definitely want to get this list out. Islam. Go ahead, Justice. Say your appellation, please.
This is Michael Bay out the Michigan territory.
Uh-huh.
All right. I was thinking that maybe we could have more conference calls, maybe like an open line where everybody call in and talk about their demonstrations and give advice on how to maneuver and how not to maneuver, and just open line, just talk about anything.
Islam, beautiful. I was actually just thinking the same thing. Islam.
A Moorish chat line. That'll be a good one, isn't it? Moorish chat line.
Yes. Yes. A law chat line where we're chatting about the law. Islam. That's a beautiful idea.
Islam. Great idea. Islam.
Islam. I was gonna say the same thing, like a Facebook group chat, or what's up at chat would be a great thing to have. Anybody got any ideas or questions? You can just go and post it real time.
Be better.
Hold on, please. Let him finish. State your affiliation, the one that's speaking right now about the chat line.
Yes, that's Thomas L. Bay.
Yes.
Indiana Territory.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just saying like a Facebook group chat or what's up app. And I think the oral real time chat would be good too as well. Islam.
Go ahead. Islam. Thank you, Justice Thomas. Go ahead, Noble.
This is Dr. Carol Bay, Columbus Territory, Ohio Territory. What about the Zoom, where we could actually visually see each other and really, really start connecting, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. We can actually visually see each other on this one too, on this on free conference call as well. If they, if the Moors want to open up their cameras and see one another, which I think is good too, and if you don't want to, that's good as well. Because some of them can see me now, even, because I always open mine up just so that we can exchange energies that way. That's a great idea. Great idea. And the more the merrier on that. The more,
tell a buddy, bring a friend.
Yeah, the more that do Zoom calls and you want to share and connect that way, the better. Okay? That's stuff that we all have to do. We all have to do that.
Islam.
Yes,
yeah,
go
I think
ahead.
that's another great idea, Islam, to have more than one platform. Islam.
Yes.
Islam.
Yes.
Islam.
Go ahead, Justice.
Kevin Grinnell L. from Columbus, Ohio Territory.
Mm-hmm.
And we was speaking about jurisdiction and things in that nature. And I wanted to make a suggestion that if anybody is really aware of the eschatological laws or the positive laws that's coming from Rome, is anyone aware of that on this call?
The canonical laws, is that what you're referring to?
The canon laws. Yes.
Yeah, the canon laws.
Yes.
We are aware of them. However, those have to actually come from us. They have to be decapitalized and come from us. But go ahead.
But what I was getting at is that under these canon laws, it actually.
Are you there, Justice?
Oh yeah, I was muted.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. What you just said was going back to the unum sanctum, to where you said they can be uncapitalized and done lowercase. So what I was saying is that is a lot of people aware, but is a lot of people aware of the canon laws, the positive laws, because under these positive laws, it explains your position under divine law, that the positive law is not over us, period, under divine law. And under the positive law, if you go in under jurisdiction there's a lot of things that explain what's going on from coming out of Rome to where you can use to get back in the position of who you are as an Aboriginal Moor. But
original Moor.
Huh?
We're the originals.
Yes, I know that. This is what I'm saying is that under the positive law, what I was asking, you are aware, is anybody else on the call aware of the positive laws?
More? Anyone aware of the positive laws, the canon laws?
Do you want to share some of that information?
Yes, Islam. This is Valerie Barker Bay, Kansas and Colorado territory. Yes, I use canon law on a lot of my affidavits.
Okay. Well, a lot of people, what I would suggest is if they get with the canon laws, they will find out a lot of information that will help them and guide them to a better position in dealing with the Abians. Because really the canon laws under the positive law, it's a lot of remedy in there that you can use to where it's all contracts. And under these contracts, each one of these contracts, for instance, canon law 667 under the positive law, it tells you that the society and how it is created. So if under society how it's created under positive law, this is before the corporation is even created. So under each canon law, it breaks down in a subsection and explains its position and how the society is created, and then it goes off to explain how jurisdiction is created. And they don't have jurisdiction. They don't even talk about the Aboriginal Moor or the flesh and blood. They talk about a juridic person, which is the artificial person. That is basically through the positive law, eschatological law is the same thing. But through the canon laws, if they go read it, they'll find out about the things that has occurred and what we have been through as far as the eschatological, dealing with the subsequent trusts and things like that, because all that's fraud. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the Pope's civil order in 2013.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of that information in the Pope's civil orders, when he said that we was not supposed to be up under the what is it? What is it?
Sanctum?
The estates. We was never supposed to be up under their jurisdiction dealing with those estates, because he said United States minor and United States major. But he was talking about the organic states where he was speaking, and if you knew what he was talking about us, the Moors, when he was saying United States major, and that we was never supposed to be part of that because he said it was fraud and deceit. Well, if you take, and I suggest, if people get under the canon laws and they start reading it, all through the canon laws, it said that it's fraud and deceit from everything that they've been doing, from jurisdiction, from mortgages, from everything as far as bonds. It says that they are void, and they was fraud from the beginning.
Void ab initio.
Yes. But if no one is not aware of it, they can't use it. So I suggest that people might want to, the Aboriginal Moors might want to take and write this down and then go look at it, and then it can help them to maneuver to see the difference between jurisdiction, because it already says that the Constitution they say it's basically a fraud and deceit with the Constitution. It's not even the Constitution. It clearly states. Let me break it out what it states for you.
You're so affirming what we knew already, but I need to hear exactly where you got that from. I'm glad you're reading it. Thank you for that.
Yes.
We knew that we didn't have any contracts with them like that, because they can't contract. You can't contract when you're bankrupt and at war. Those two things negate the ability to contract. So we didn't do that. Go ahead, Justice. I yield the floor. Go ahead.
Yes. So up under the principle of law, which is 5.2 under principle of law, coming from out of the positive law, it says Article 158 under jurisdiction. If you read it, it explains to you that it under juridic person is only jurisdiction that they have jurisdiction over. Public law, it explains to you about the public law is that the only jurisdiction that they have is over the juridic person. All this is under the covenant of their contracts. But as you read it, and like I said, once you get up into the bonds, the Sussex Trust and everything like that, it tells you that it's fraud from the start. So, like, they never have any jurisdiction over us or anything. But this up under this covenant, and you get up under the positive law, and you get to studying it, you will see where you can use it, and then you can take and use those specific parts of those contracts, and you can decapitalize them, and then you can use it back against them, and then take it to a court action, and they don't have nothing really to stand on as it is already.
Now pair that with the unum sanctum, where you're saying everyone is under the Roman pontiff, which is all Moors. But know that all Moors are the Roman pontiff. Now
right.
pair that with that, and who has a leg to stand on? No one when they're coming. That's what this is all about. Thank you for that. You said that was you said Principle 5, Article 158. Is that what you just read?
Yes. Yes.
And that's in
article,
the canon.
That's in the canon laws. Let me spell it to you. It's canon deluxe partium. I can't really say it right, but I'm trying my best.
Okay.
But what you do is let me spell it out to you so you can go to it.
It's in
ready?
the chat. One of the Moors put it in the chat.
Okay.
So go ahead and spell it out. Yeah,
okay, it's a CANONDELUSPOSITVUM. Just space it out as you go, and it's under canons of positive law. Eschatological law and positive law is the same thing, and up under one of them is called pervity. If you get a chance and you get a chance to go to pervity, it deals with the banks, and it explains how the banks and the bar association work hand in hand, and it explains also that because of their relationship in the things that they had did, because it says that the banks is responsible for all wars and everything, and it says at the end it says because it says no bar member, if you're a member of the bar, you cannot hold a position as a judge, lawyer, attorney, or a barrister, a clerk, or an assistant. So I had litigated, and I had an issue with the bank. So when I presented the issue to they manage the bank when you go and you got a problem with the bank and they manage the bank. I'm trying to think of the name.
Is it the FDIC?
No, it was it's when you got a regulation.
Oh, ABA? The American Bankers Association?
No. It's wait a minute. Let me hold up. It's when you got a problem with the bank and you want them to regulate the bank. They over national banks. Audit. Controller of currency.
Oh, comptroller.
Yeah. So when I went to the controller of currency, and I was regulating, I was bringing the regulation there. They was in violation, which is actually perjury according to the canon law. So when I told them, I said that the member, the IBI that was representing the bank happened to be a lawyer. So when I brought it up and said that she wasn't no lawyer, and she's representing in fraud, they stopped communicating with me. So then when I went back and I had litigated before them, they went in default. They all went in default because when I found out all of them up there in the controller of currency, they all lawyers. So what I did, I took the post-civil orders, and I took the pervity under the canon laws, and I went and I presented it to them, and I said, all y'all in here fraud, and y'all not lawyers, y'all not attorneys, and they all got silent.
Okay.
They all got silent.
Yeah.
So I just want to show, and I just want to suggest that I just gave y'all, if y'all get a chance, y'all go there, y'all going to be very surprised of the remedies that's in there. That basically, it kind of surprised me that they was really giving it up like this, but it was like, it was more in our favor, if anything. You know, it was similar to the post-civil orders. So, you know, like I said.
Spell your appellation again. Spell your appellation.
Kevin Gunnell L. Gunnell.
In Columbus, Ohio territory. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. So
keep going, Justice. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I litigated against them, and you know, once I did that, they got silent, and like I told them, it was pervity, because once y'all see pervity, you'll understand the position under pervity, because it explained to you under pervity that they gave, for instance, they took our gold standard away from us, so they gave us House Resolution 192. So now we were supposed to have a remedy before we just said, okay, we ain't gonna deal with y'all at all. We just gonna, you know, exercise what we entitled to, which you did. So we were supposed to have that remedy on the House Resolution 192. They didn't want to give me the remedy that I was supposed to get, which is up under 31 U.S.C. 240. Okay, it's called checks drawn under the United States Treasury. Now, I was in a position to where I was able to, because they wanted to play the game with me being the power of attorney or executive. So what that do, it gives me the opportunity to put on the back and endorse it and say that I am the power of attorney over the artificial person, which is the juridic person up under the canon laws. So what that does, that allows for me to be able to take the check and go to the bank, and the bonds that I sent to the Treasury that I set up through the UCC, they were supposed to give me whatever I asked for off of that check, based on me endorsing that check under, I said, 31 U.S.C. 240, dealing with checks drawn on the United States Treasury. So what they did was pervity, because they gave us a promise, and then they took it away. And if you go up and you look up under pervity, up under the canon laws, it's exactly what the pervity is talking about. So I brought it to their attention, and then at the end of pervity, everything that they said about the banks and how the Bar Association worked, and they said because of that penalty of the relationship and what they have did, they said that they couldn't work as a bar member and hold a position as an attorney or anything like that. And like I said, I exposed them, and they were surprised, because don't too many people really deal with the canon laws or get that deep off into it, part of our civics. And like I said, it was a remedy that was in my favor, and it's in y'all favors too, to be able to use it and do something like we did with the Unum Sanctum. Yeah. And they all under contracts.
Islam.
You
just answered a whole bunch of stuff, and I can tell you. Let me just tweak what you did just a little bit. Let me tweak it just a little bit.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. You needed to do the Unum Sanctum for yourself, because you have that authority, because we know that's what they're operating under. You needed to do Unum Sanctum. You do not need to do bonds, because bonds is debt. You could actually do a sovereign creditor instrument, and they'll have to honor it. It needs to be on, from the government, which is you. So you did everything right. There are just a few things you needed to tweak where they don't even have a choice. They must honor it. Okay?
Right.
And the bond thing, do away with the bonds for now, because that's debt under that whole fiat system. Bonds are debt under that. And then, so those are the two things I would change. And one other thing that I would change is, and I put this on social media, if I were doing that, which I'm going to do a similar demonstration, because I need to tweak mine. And the information that you just gave me it made it so that I can tweak my own demonstration there. But the other thing is where you said that you were power of attorney. Of means without.
Yes.
So
yes.
all you have to do to remedy that, brother, is just do those affidavits of sovereign attorney general and sovereign secretary for sovereign state and sovereign governor. Any title that they're claiming, all you have to do is make it a sovereign one, spell it just a little bit different, and you have that authority. They will honor it. I'm watching it happen right now in this territory with those documents that we've done.
Yes, excuse me, what you just said, I did because I was already, what I did, I was doing the bonds and stuff. I was following that procedure before I came back in because I had already proclaimed my nationality before I took and reclaimed my nationality to with y'all. So what happened was that I did my bonds and already set up before what you just said. I did that. Yeah. So I sent the affidavit out last week, and I told him, I said I give them 3 days before I move for court action. I got something in the mail from Social Security because I told them that, I said, give me what belonged to me. And so now they're trying to fix everything to where, like what you just said. So, yes, I was already on what you just said, So,
yes. Well, and I wouldn't do it as a bond because bond is debt. And then also, Universal Sovereign Postmaster General, you need to have that military position when you're going to do things like that, simply because we are over all banking. All Universal Sovereign Postmaster Generals who are indigenous original heirs are over all banking and all shipping and all.
I'm sorry.
Beautiful demonstration. Go ahead, Nobility.
Yes. What you just said, I did all that. And as far as the bonds, yes, I that's what I did. I was doing the bonds. But like you said,
switch it from a bond, though. You got to switch it from a bond.
No, I did. I said I was doing it, and I switched it. This is what I said. I changed everything up because this is the way I was going at first. But what I'm saying, everything what you just said, I did. You know what I mean? That's what's going on right now for me. So yes, that's a demonstration that I changed everything up, and I've been going that route. So yes, I understand exactly what you said. Yes. Yes.
That's great information right there.
And I put out there. I sent to them that I was the Postmaster General as well. So yes,
they got to do what you say. You already know they got to do what you tell them.
I already know it. Yes,
that's awesome. That is a beautiful demonstration. Islam, go ahead. Yes. Empress.
I put the canon and the us positivum in the chat to download. So I put the PDF already there.
Beautiful.
It's very revealing, I will say.
Thank you, Empress.
Islam, I like to say this. Once you get in there, because it's oneheaven.org, once you get in there, there's a lot of things that, besides within the positive law, there's going to be other indexes and other parts in there that, I suggest that y'all read, so that it can help you with your demonstration and really, take over where we're supposed to really be.
Yes. That is actually the same place where I got the 13 Great Writs from.
Oh, yes.
I have all of those books. I think there's about 13 of the canon books. And they're all for different continents or land masses, rather. But they all say the same thing, and there's a specific one for the Americas. And I gave those out to the judiciary, but I didn't put them, and this was actually, I gave them out like about a year and a half ago to the judiciary. But the only reason that I haven't given them out to everyone is because you have to know that is hypothecated. If you don't know that it's hypothecated, you won't know how to do the demonstrations that way. But now that we know we're the Postmaster General, the Universal Sovereign Postmaster General, which is overall banking, we can tell them to do that, and they have to do it. You see?
Yes.
Beautiful demonstration. Beautiful. See, I just love it. There's nothing we cannot do. Islam. Go ahead, Empress.
Islam. Another question I had, but I wanted to wait until I got a little bit more involved, is somebody referred me to a person named David Wine Miller. And I think he's a brilliant man. I believe he's Hawaiian, so I believe he's indigenous. But he's a judge. And what he was able to do, he found laws regarding the language, the written language. You know, and he says the average person speaks the English language like a second grader, and we were purposefully miseducated. And this was purposely done, you know, for hundreds of years. And so under the laws that he found, because the Constitution, everything that was written for the last 8,000 years is illegal, he was able to sovereignize himself. And it caused such anger throughout the world that even Mrs. Windsor, the queen, or the former queen, canceled everything with him. He's not allowed to go to New Zealand, which is the safe haven for all the millionaires and billionaires that are running out of here now. So he did. I'm sorry.
Actually, David Wynn Miller has passed form. He's no longer.
Yeah. I did hear that. I was.
Yeah. Go ahead, Empress.
Oh no, that's it. Go right ahead. I wanted to hear if you had heard about him or what you thought about his work.
Okay. Islam. This is what I think about his work and what he has done. He basically just left some breadcrumbs for the heirs. Okay. Mm-hmm. None of the stuff that he could do, he didn't have the authority to do any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. In reality, because he's not us, and that's what I was about to say about the Albions. They don't have the authority to do what the heirs have to do, and some people want to grasp the Albions in right now. That can't happen right now. It has to happen once we get our, we have to do what we have to do first. We have to take our proper place before we can even consider that, and that's not even a consideration. In the least for a court, the nation has to decide that. So anyway, what he did, and he and Russell J. Gould is the one that was working with him. They've done great work in terms of trying to operate within that system, because this is the situation. The Albion cannot come out of that system until we say so. Not a single one of them can come out of that system until we say they can, because we're the ones who put them in it. And a lot of people want to bring them out now, and, because it's all love and all of that, and all of that is great. But we got to do this by the law. And the Moors must be straight first. Then we can assist someone else. That's why the prophet said, save yourself. So regarding his work, I watched the War Castle piece because I get great information from it. I know it's hypothecated information. That's why I don't put it out there and say, hey, everyone, go watch this. They have the answers, because they don't have the answers. It's hypothecated. They were trying to do what they were trying to do because they're not sovereign. And they only attempted to claim sovereign in all capital letters, which means you're not sovereign if you're trying to use all capital letters calling yourself a sovereign. If you look at the work they did, there is capital letters throughout it. With regard to the quantum grammar, all they were trying to do was not use corporate English, you see. Which is what we've done when we use ancient English, and the sovereigns can spell it however they want to spell it, and it means exactly what we intend. Because
Islam.
Lost sound. Yeah, looked like you got kicked off for a minute. She'll be back.
No songs.
Islam, we can't. Islam.
Yes. She's working on it right now. Are you hearing?
Islam. Does anybody else got any more demonstrations?
Islam?
Go ahead, Empress. Did you have something to say?
Yeah.
Islam.
No audio as yet. We have the video, we can see you, but we can't hear you.
No running around. You can play a game. Hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anytime we come up with answers, they be like, shut those Moors down. Okay, so.
Islam.
So, go
Empress,
ahead,
right?
Justice. Yes.
I'm in Trinidad, and
yes.
my mind is moving at pace. I want to nationalize. I understand what is required of me, but I'm thinking presently all of my certification, in all caps, my driver's license, I also do taxi work sometimes. I'm a plumber. My certification, everything capitalized, everything. And if I'm to travel, if I'm to journey from Trinidad to the U.S., I have a passport as well, capital, everything. So, to navigate my way
you
through
listened to the past videos on YouTube? Have you listened to them about decapitalizing and how to use those resources? Because those are just resources on our land when we're in our rightful place. But if we're not in our rightful place and we haven't terminated all corporate contracts, then that stuff is, they use it against us. Okay?
Right.
Okay?
So
everything that's in capital letters, go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I need to nationalize first, but the authorities in Trinidad, it's an island. And,
okay, you don't need to tell. You don't need to worry about the authorities. You need to nationalize. That is not something that you are the authority in Trinidad, and once you overstand that. So, is there someone here on the call, more here on the call, who will assist him with nationalizing?
Islam.
Well, I just got in. I heard the question I thought somebody was helping him from last week already, but if there is no one, he can contact me, which I believe my number is on the screen. But I thought somebody was already assisting him.
No, that's Justice Gilmore.
Okay. I need to get his number is online.
Go ahead, Justice Gilmore. If you want to, get his number, etc.
Yes, he could go ahead and text me his number or put it in the chat if he's on the phone. I mean, if he's on the computer, put it in the chat and I will see it there. But were you? I thought I heard you speaking last week, and somebody had offered to work with you.
No one contacted me.
Go ahead and give him your number so that you all can get together.
Yes, please put the number and I'll pick it up and then we can chat.
Thank you.
And,
can you put your number in the chat? Not Justice Gilmore, but the brother from Trinidad, or either you can give him an email. The brother from Trinidad.
Well, okay. My email address is Renny, R-E-N-N-Y, B8M@gmail.com.
Okay, R-E-N-N-Y. Hold on, I don't even have a pen to write. So, okay, R-E-N-N-Y. What else?
B.
Rennie, B-E.
8. The number 8. M. Yeah, gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Islam.
That's Rennie B8M@gmail.com.
Okay. I will attempt to pass a link to you momentarily. So I've got that. Islam.
Thank you, Justice Gilmore. Appreciate you. Islam. Okay.
Islam.
Hold on for just a moment. We were talking. We were on a particular topic, and it's pretty okay. But go ahead, Empress Imara. I think was going to say something. Go ahead, Empress Imara. Go ahead, Empress.
Islam, Valerie Price Bay. My question is, what type of instruments that we can give to young youth that are stopped by the policy enforcers? What can we do to equip them with, not being arrested for walking?
Let me give you the list. Are you ready?
Yes.
Now they have to be able to demonstrate it. Okay. This is what we have been doing. The nationality document in all lowercase letters.
Documents, okay.
A termination of all corporate contracts in all lowercase letters on government letterhead.
Termination of government contracts, okay.
Termination of all corporate contracts.
All corporate contracts, yes.
Yes. And then the Empress, if you, I don't know if you've seen it, but the Universal Sovereign Postmaster General document, the Universal Sovereign Governor, Sovereign Attorney General, and those documents need to be on the public record for you and for them.
Say that again.
Universal Sovereign Postmaster General.
Okay.
Okay. And the universal sovereign governor.
Universal sovereign governor. Okay.
Yes, those two in the least, specifically in terms of, but that is the list right now that needs to be on the public record, because the postmaster generals, the sovereign postmaster generals, are in charge of all shipping, and what they've been doing is trafficking the Moors. Okay, that's what they've been doing, and so we cannot have that any longer. So we have to take those positions. They never had the positions to begin with, but we formally removed all of them. Okay, all heirs, assigned, derivatives thereof, agents, principals of all of those doing business as governors, and all of those and the one doing business as president. All of that's been removed out from out of the Moors' way, and so the Moors need to fill that space with our sovereign status, okay? And that's what we're doing, because we were always our own, all of that. We've always been our own, all of that. So that needs to be on the public record. It needs to be, copies need to be given to the policy enforcers, and preferably print off an original, and you can print off as many originals of that, and you can sign it and stamp it and seal it with your right thumbprint in red, and you give them original wet ink signatures to the policy enforcers in the territory. That's a must for, you know, and you can't tell sovereigns what to do, but it is highly suggested. Let me put it that way.
Islam. Thank you.
Islam. Now, we do want to, let's see, the original question was, what do we need? Let's see, what are we, in our nation, what is it that you think we need more of? What are we missing, et cetera, et cetera? And we had gotten into that whole canonum deluce positivum, that piece right there, with Justice Kevin Gunnell L., who gave some beautiful information as well on that. Are we, Justice Kevin, are you, did you want to give us any other information on that as well?
Yes. They, in the past, I know that y'all probably ran across where they used to try to make you think that you was the juridic person and yourself is one and the same. Y'all experienced that with the policy enforcers at one time?
I've never experienced them trying to make me a juridic person, because they were always, a juridic person is really still a citizen when the heirs stand up. That's the issue. When we stand, all others who are not us can't be anything other than what they really are. When we're really ourselves, they have to be who they really are. We're not juridic persons. That's a corporate status that they were using while we were asleep.
Right. This is what I'm saying. I'm trying to bring it across. Okay. What I'm saying is that the juridic person is when you that I've been putting back in front of them, because we always know them as the artificial person or the straw man. Okay. But it's the juridic person, and the juridic person, which is the artificial person that they use and try to say we are one and the same. But what I wanted to say was, they have in there under physical and juridic persons to where you can separate yourself from them trying to say that you are the juridic person, because they had did that in the past when I knew there was a difference between me and the artificial person. So they had under demonstration, they got where they said reaching the age of majority. Are y'all aware of reaching the age of majority?
Go ahead and tell us what you know about it, because some are, some of us are, but there are more on the call who are not. Okay.
Well, it's still part of it, which is this is Title 6 of the Code of Canon Law, and this is something that could be used against them when they try to play the game as you being the same. Well, anyway, it says a person who has reached majority has full exercise of his or her rights. that's part of the physical and juridic person under the Title 6 of the canon law.
Okay,
so,
that actually would be something that if we have Albions in our trust, they could use that to do what they need to do. However, they're not heirs, okay, but they can use that in order to have rights, so to speak, under the Moors, you see. But again, the juridical person would be, again, we're the quote, we're the Pope in all lowercase letters, and so they're still going to be talking to us if there's any, about anything that's going on when they're in their rightful place, and that cannot happen until the Moors are, and we're there already. We're in our rightful place, Beautiful information, beautiful. Juridical person is what those who, because there are some of us who have Albions in our line of relations, I guess. I don't know how to really say that. But some Moors have, nieces and nephews or something like that, or they have, some Moors have you can't really call them a consort, a wife, or, who's Albion. And so the ones that they put in their trust are going to have to know that kind of stuff, and they absolutely have to come to the heirs if there be any remedies for them. And the heirs who have Albions in your trust, you all need to know how to deal with them from that perspective, and that's why you're the Pope, and you're the that's why we did unum sanctum and decapitalized all of that is in preparation to govern the entire estate, not just one part of it. So
can you
go ahead, Empress.
I'm sorry. Can you spell the word juridica?
Juridical, and I would put an E on the end, putting it in ancient English.
Thank you.
Because that's how we spell. Yes, Islam. Beautiful information, Justice Kevin. We appreciate your wisdom, because that's information that we're going to need.
If I got kicked out, they kicked me out.
When you're giving too much good information, that kicked me out too just a little while ago. Go ahead, Justice. When that energy gets high like that, go ahead.
Yes. You started talking and they kicked me out. But
I was just thanking you for your wisdom. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, I wanted to say also. Let me get to yes. Well, like you were just saying that as far as the physical and juridic person, that how it could be used, it's also in there under that Title 6 where it says representing a public juridic person and acting in his name are those whose competence is acknowledged by universal or particular law or by its own statutes.
Okay.
And
when they say in his name, that's a little bit of the fraud part right there. They really mean in our name, because you can't do anything without the sovereign.
Right,
you have to be sovereign to do it. Yeah. So that's another reason why the experienced Moors need to take a look at that. But the new Moors, and if the new Moors feel led to take a look at it, by all means, you can't tell sovereigns what to do. But you have to know that it's hypothecated in many places.
Yes, I thought the information would be, where, you can use it and, dissect it. And that's why I brought it up.
Yes. Beautiful information. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic information. We need it.
Yes.
Islam.
I yield.
Yes. Know that we have the answers to everything in our nation. We don't even need any outside, any answers from anybody else. We got everything we need right here in this nation. Right here on this call, we got everything we need to govern this state. Go ahead, Justice. Go ahead, Justice. One of the justices just said
Islam. Yeah, excuse me. This is Justice Sheikh Maliko, Canaan Land Territory. Just to add to the list that you spoke of, I thought it'd be very important to have different healing health centers. For the Moors, and something that I reflect back to is our ancestor Dr. Sabi, as he was trying to set this up before he passed away, and to just try to heal as much people as possible. And I think if we have these in our territories, I think this would be great. As our ancestors always, look to nature to heal ourselves and to cleanse ourselves, I think this is something that would be wonderful. And I remember an Empress that mentioned this, I think it was last call or a couple calls back, of having natural centers as well. So I know other people online are in direct alignment with it. So that's something I wanted to mention. I yield. Islam.
Let me say about that, Justice Sheikh Malik. We have health and healing centers in every one of us here. All we really need to do with regard to that and to get the things we need is those that are in that area of science should first do the Postmaster General piece so that it takes care of the shipping and you can tell the shippers what to do. Then do, the governors and mayor and attorney general, secretary of state, so you can take that position as well. And then also make yourselves the CEO of whatever company in all lowercase letters, and then give that company, whether it be a pharmaceutical company or whatever, make them give up the natural records that they're using in order to push the garbage they've been pushing. Do a search and seizure of the records. See, that's where we're going with all of this is we all are already the CEOs of all of that. That's why we lean that stuff, you see. There's some noise coming from somewhere.
Yes. Oh,
Justice Malik, I think you got a phone ringing back there or something.
I'll mute it.
We're already, the corporation, the companies and the resources that the companies use, it's already ours. If you've leaned a company, you're already the CEO, but you have to state it competently. So you have to do, you got to do the unum sanctum, because that's what they've been operating under. So we have to take that. We've already taken it. You have to do, for those who want to do that. And then you want to commandeer these herbal companies, etc. By making yourself the CEO, send them a sovereign universal chief operating or chief executive officer, and spell it in ancient English so that they will know that you're not them, because you're not corporate, you're the sovereign whose resources they've been using. And then you can send him instructions and say, you're to do this and you're to do this, and make sure that all the Moors have this and all the Moors have that, etc. That's where we're going with these documents that we're telling you, that we're admonishing and encouraging you to put on the public record.
Islam.
But you first have to be, you got to be the original indigenous postmaster general. Because the resources are ours. They always have been, and no one else's, by the way. And so when you do that, you've already taken care of shipping. Then when you do the secretary for sovereign state and the sovereign governor and the sovereign attorney general, those are military positions, but we're peace officers. Okay? And that is how and then you begin to give competent instruction on what to do. And actually, it's not even instruction, it's competent command on what to do. That's how we do this. Okay? So if you're wondering how we, in the 1930s, what we're doing right now, what I just described, is the same thing they did in the 1930s. They capitalized everything and said, okay, now we're the CEOs because the Moors are acting like they don't want to run the companies, so we're going to make them all corporations. We're going to capitalize the titles the deeds or whatever. We're going to make up some deeds. We're going to do all of this, and then we're just going to start sending it out on corporate paper until the Moors get competent and start sending some affidavits. And if they don't send affidavits, everything grinds to a halt, and we don't get to eat. And we're not going to let that happen. That's what they did, and that's what we're doing now. That's why I say we're at the foundation of where all the fortunes and all of that, everything, all of our resources are ours now. It always has been, really. Okay? So pick the companies rather. You got to lean them so that they won't be expecting any fiat coming from anywhere. You got to lean them, and you have to do a court action because they need a court order. That's where they did all of their fraud and all of the craziness that they did. Okay? And then, because we've already abolished all corporate charters and all corporate trusts, that's a wrap. That's why they can't do anything in that manner either. And so this is where we are. And there's enough corporations out there, okay, and you can't just do it for yourself. Order for everybody. Give commands for everybody. So we can all show our national ID and be like, okay, good, we got this, we got that, we got this, we got that. That's how this works. We're all the CEOs, and don't worry about if someone else already picked that company. Pick it yourself, and then you give them orders. They got to do what we say anyway, because we're speaking with one voice as a sovereign nation and a sovereign government, and the heirs to all resources. See, we are one, so it doesn't matter. So the more the merrier from my from what I can see. If 30 Moors tell Apple to give everybody who has a national ID a brand new upgrade and all of that, guess what Apple has to do? Because the CEOs have spoken, and so did the Pope, and so did the governor, and so did the mayor, and all of that. They don't have a choice. That's our stuff. Let's do it, more. That's what this is all about.
Islam, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yes. Begin telling them what to do, Sheikh Malik. Tell them what to do. Tell them you need this and this and this for your, so that, and just order for all Moors and then tell them send you some too, so that you can use it for healing and whatever. And we really just want the information, and then we'll order the resources and command the resources according to the information that we have. It's all good. We got it. We got this. It's a wrap. And that's what the prophet meant when he said that when commerce starts back up again, it's going to be in the favor of the Moors. Because they can't keep using our resources without us having the say. Not just some say. We have the say over the resources. We're the CEOs. We're the chief executive officers and chief financial officers. It's our trust they've been eating off of anyway. We just didn't know it. Now we do. You see.
Islam.
And that's for all Moors. That's for all Moors. Okay? And that's again why the scientific part of our brain is being, and our consciousness and our mind is being activated. So
yes.
Let's do it. Yes. Islam in the chat, I see you. Justice Yezreal, I'm going to pronounce that right. He says it's a new day. Justice Mac, I once was lost, but now I'm found. I get it. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We are found. And in fact, we've always been here. We've never been anywhere else. So,
Islam.
Just
wanted to add a little something. I don't really want to make a lot of comments right now, but one of the things, we keep saying we're the ears. Actually, we have moved from that. Since we've taken possession, we are the controllers. Because
controllers with a K.
It's not about owning anything, it's about controlling everything. Because everything is for every one of us, but we have to take control of our fortunes, our assets, as they call it. And so we move from the ear, which is that one that is waiting, into the one that is acting or active in it. Might be worth a little bit of digging it deeper to see, okay, where does that really go? It's just a heads up. Islam.
Absolutely. And we're the heirs, and we're yes, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to wait till you were finished. I had a couple of more questions that I had wanted to ask, and that's about terminating all the debt. I never really had any debt, so do I still need to terminate any contracts that I signed before? When I type up this terminate all debt affidavit of fact, it appears that I don't really have any debt that I need to get rid of. So exactly how would I handle that?
Yes. So the first thing you would do is tap into your ancestral Akashic knowledge as to what is best for you. That's the first thing you do. The second thing you do that I would suggest is that you, even though, see, the debt never existed anyway. It's the adhesion of the contract that would that would seemingly allow them to pull you over and throw you in a cell. It's that gluey adhesion given by consent of the heirs that we must terminate. Okay, so take that information and craft as you will, or do as you will, in terms of, but know that if you have any corporate contracts, that's for citizens, and they can do whatever they want with the citizens. So that is my suggestion, is please consider that information as you craft whatever you're led to craft. Because you have to say anyway, you're sovereign. You have to say.
All of my accounts are somewhat closed simply because I paid them all off already.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
know that it's not. See, they knew the fiat didn't exist anyway. They knew that was not really a thing. They knew it was not really a thing. They just needed signatures from the heirs so that they can do whatever they do, what they want to do.
Eat.
And it is that dynamic that we've ended with the termination of all corporate contracts. Okay, is when we signed anything, we gave them consent to treat us as citizens, and now we're just taking that back. And know that mortgages, because see, it's the paperwork, the foundational paperwork of whatever it is, that which starts in fraud stays in fraud. So if that's why some people think they paid off a mortgage, but they come back and say, oh no, there's 3 years of taxes due on that, we're going to take it. Or they say you have some outstanding debt, we're going to take that, we're going to attach a lien to the mortgage, and then we're going to take the domicile for $30 that you didn't pay 5 years ago. They do that if you believe that that paperwork is worth anything. It's not. And they are doing that. They're going all the way back until the beginning, and they're saying, okay, let's just gather up all the debt. When you hear them talk about the Federal Reserve is gathering up debt, and they're paying, you know, they even doing junk bonds. Okay, that's them going back and saying, okay, we see that they don't have a termination of corporate contracts on the books. We know she's an heir. We know she is. But because she has not terminated corporate contracts and she thinks that that paying off a mortgage gave her the property that's already hers, we can go ahead and fraudulently attempt to steal that.
Islam?
Happens all the time. It's the paper. It's the document. Yes, it's the document. Just like, you know, birth certificate documents are war documents where they felt like they could take something and do this and do that and add debt and make people go to their schools and all of that stuff. You know, that's the fraud. So you don't want to live in fraud. You want to live in truth. You know,
exactly.
Islam. And someone saying Islam. Go ahead. There was another brother who was saying it. He said Islam about 3 times. I want to give him an opportunity to speak.
Islam, yeah, this is Mike L. Bay out the Michigan territory. Yeah, I just wanted to camel back on her asking what contract should she cancel or whatnot. You know, if you ever put your signature on any document, I say cancel all contracts. If you ever had a driver's license ever in your life, you ever been you signed a mortgage or had a credit card, you know, anything that you may have signed unknowingly, you know, it's being transferred. It's being maneuvered around. So I would say, you know, even if you're not sure, you know, but yeah, cancel all contracts. Islam, how you?
Islam, go ahead.
I am going to get the jump on that 2-hump camel's back and camelback what the brother just said. Everything is contract. So if you terminate it, then you have terminated, because whether you did it knowingly or unknowingly, you contracted either by proxy or to get something, and that's the reason why. You either cancel or know the contract that you have and you keep it. Your contracts begin before you get here, and they go forever and a day.
Okay, the contract that you're talking about, like the ones that before we got here, that we didn't do that with a corporation. We're talking about corporate contracts. They need to be terminated.
Yes, there's also, even those contracts, if you want to change them, this is a whole different thing. I was just bringing that up to ride on what the brother was saying. Their contracts and what one must do. And again, it's not disagreeing with anything that you said. I'm bolstering it by saying everything is contract. So if you know or you don't know, but you think because you have never paid any bills off unless you paid them with gold or silver. So, you know, when you go and tell them you paid, you have tacitly agreed that you contracted. So, you know, that's a contract. That's why it wants to be canceled. Islam.
Islam.
Islam, agreed. Islam. Termination of corporate contracts. And then when you talk about, because see, Moors are we're going to be making contracts between each other because we're equal. But if there's unequal yoking going on, then that's not really even a contract. It's not even a contract. It's not even a lawful one. The master does not contract with the servant. The servant is given commands. And then should there be any, because see, the master, and when I say master, I'm talking about I self-law am master. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. We are love, we're truth, we're instruction, we're encouragement, we're generosity, we're helpfulness, we're guidance, we're compassion, we're prophecy, we're all of that. So our subjects never had to worry, and they considered it an honor. So when you say public servant, that's who you're talking about. Okay? It's an honor. And so, again, you know, with the contract, you want to just terminate all corporate contracts, and then you start afresh when you're talking about dealing with the heirs. That's a different thing. We're going to be contracting with other nations for trade and commerce. Okay?
Beautiful, beautiful. One more question. Is it wise to terminate my monthly retirement pension from my job to my bank?
Okay. I'll tell you what I did.
Okay.
Okay, so when I was asleep, I was in the military. And since I got out of the military, I get a check every month from the military. And I don't get the check, but it goes into not the nom de guerre, but the subject status bank. Okay? Name. It has one capital letter or all capital letters. Okay? But that's a subject. It's not, I'm not representing it. That's a subject. So what I did was I terminated all corporate contracts, including the VA contract. I didn't terminate the resource and the benefit. I terminated the paper by which they were operating. That's what the contract is. The contract and the resource are two different things altogether.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to, your pension should still come every month until forever, until you say you don't want it anymore. It should come every month on time, just like it's supposed to, until the sovereign says otherwise. But again, you're not using it as a citizen needing anything. We're only terminating the fraud, just as Michelle says that in the chat. Absolutely correct. It's the paper that they put over our resources that's the fraud. The resources are not the fraud. The paper that they put over it is the fraud.
Islam. Thank you.
So your pension should come every month, and it better come until you say otherwise,
okay.
Or else they got to go to your court. And we don't play with the courts. You know what I'm saying? They don't play with them indigenous courts because they already heard on YouTube what happened when you play with them. Islam.
Awesome.
So, yes. So
Islam.
That stuff better come until you. And one thing about that stuff, and I'll go back to what I said at the beginning of this meeting. Those resources that are coming, now that we know we have no debt, you're going to see actually that stuff pile up in our favor. All of it's going to start piling up in our favor. It's already happening, where it doesn't have to go out because that's a resource that you did not designate for debt. It is to assist the heirs while we do what we do. You see? We're in control of that. You're the CEO of that corporation, or that company, rather. You're the CEO of that company in all lowercase letters. They need to be upgrading it and sending you some extra because you want to go shopping. in Paris territory.
All right, love that.
We have
love
the
it.
authority, you see. And that's why getting the information out there freely, that's what that's all about. They knew we were going here. They knew we were going here because they know how this works. Islam.
Islam. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions? Oh, there was another brother who was going to speak. There was another noble who was going to say something. He said Islam a couple of times as well.
I think I said Islam.
Oh, yes, you were just, okay. Islam.
Yes.
Islam.
I wanted to say that how I killed my corporate contracts was is that I had an issue, which was with the birth certificate, and I went to probate, and I had told them to terminate my birth certificate. So the probate judge, he committed fraud and tried to keep my he tried to hold on to my birth certificate. So I told him that I wanted it canceled because they have a procedure under the revised code that allow for you to terminate the birth certificate with them. And like I told him, I knew that as long as y'all have my birth certificate, they can always play the game to where the policy enforcers, you would be in their system. So when I started litigating, and I went to the bishop that's here located here in Ohio, in Columbus. I went to the bishop, and I gave him my position, my appellation, told him who I was, when I had already on the record with the federal court. When I started litigating and letting them know that, the liens and basically what I was going to do, I was paying with the post office because I had a P.O. box. I don't get no more. I don't pay no more. My time being up as far as like I had to pay every so many months, but I ain't paid at no time. So you remember when we were speaking when you said that a lot of times things are happening and they be silent with it. They won't say nothing, but when you do a demonstration or something, that's what happened.
Yes. You know what? The thing about that demonstration is the best way and the quickest way to terminate anything is to put an affidavit in its place.
Yes. So
a universal, sovereign, living birth affidavit, that and you saying, I'm terminating all contracts associated with that fake birth certificate, here's the real one.
Yeah.
That's how you terminate, and they're mute when you do it, and they have to do what you tell them.
Yes. Yes.
Because the government, see, this is where the Department of Vital Statistics Corporation got their idea that they should issue everything. They got that from the fact that we issue our own. And all they did was look at the Moors and say, okay, the Moors issue their own sovereign living birth affidavits, so we have to do a form of that. And we have to lower it down to corporate status. And so let's do a form of that. So let's have them fill out a form so they can get a birth certificate. But in reality, the way to do that is to rebut their documents, no matter what the document is. I don't care what it is. You rebut it properly with a government, Moorish government, original indigenous document, sovereign affidavit, on government letterhead, on Moorish government letterhead. And there are other governments aside from other Moorish governments, original indigenous Moorish governments, aside from the Moorish National Republic federal government. But we get, and those are we honor them. That letterhead will work as well. So whatever government you're, Moorish indigenous government that you are presenting as, because that's really what we're doing, presenting ourselves, then you use it and go for it. We put our letterhead out there freely for everyone to use. Please use it. Feel free to use it in your demonstrations because you are part and parcel of your government. You always have been and always will be. And you're the governor, you're the postmaster general, you're the sovereign attorney general, you're the secretary for sovereign state, you're the sovereign mayor, you're the sovereign CEO, you're all of that, all wrapped up in one. And nobody can say you're not. Because we gave those offices their authority while we slept. And now that we're awake, we have that authority. So, Islam. Are there any other questions? We're at about an hour and 45 minutes. And if there are no other questions, we can continue this awesome energy. Thank you so much, Justice Kevin and Justice Mikhail and Justice Malik, Justice Thomas. Okay, so with regard also to the list that was made, Justice Doria, Justice Michelle, Justice Sarah, I believe that's Justice Sarah. I believe that's the appellation. Justice Michael Bay, Justice Abasi, Justice Malik, Justice Thomas, Justice Kevin. You all gave things that you want to see more of in our nation and things that need to be fixed. So the Moors who are on this call and the ones who hear this out on social media, we've heard from the Moors what we can do better at as a nation, and that means that it is incumbent upon each and every one of us to manifest better communication between us, our own schools, etc. Now, the other day on social media, I did put a post, rather, and the post said that those Moors in our nation who feel that we need more teachers need to be teaching. Those Moors in our nation who feel that we need more in-person meetings, not in-person, in propria persona meetings, we need to be arranging that. Now, that's something there, Empress Vandoria, that we're working on as well, is a universal meeting of the Moors. We're working on that. We have to, but we want to make it so that all Moors can come. And so that's why we're doing the Universal Postmaster General piece, because that is going to be, that authority, we're going to need it in order to come to where we are and travel freely. Okay? Yes. We're working to do things without the exchange of fiat. Okay? That's what we're doing.
Okay. Great.
And so that's what these processes that we're putting out in terms of the affidavits and you know, that's where we're going with this. And guess what? You can see the entire estate getting in position for that to be the case. If just open that third eye, and many can see it already, the estate is ready for the Moors to do what we do. Okay? But we have to get ourselves in alignment as well and know our authority. Islam.
Thank you. Great.
Islam.
I wanted to bring up not a suggestion, because it's already in being, but an invite to anybody who wants to start thinking along these lines. This isn't science. Let's develop a universal transharmonic tunneling system that's keyed to each Moor's codes precisely. That way, And all we do that with our minds. And I'm saying it because I've done it for many years now. And we can work together with those things, put them together, and essentially it'll be first recovering what we call our psychic, what the heck's the first one? Our ESP, and it's the secondary part of it. Islam?
I said extrasensory perception and telekinetic.
Yes, extrasensory perception, but I was specifically thinking of one of the last communication tools that we actually lost. But the reason I bring up the fact of the universal transharmonic tunnel, because that is a system purely controlled by mind and knowledge, purely. And it is absolutely inviolate when it's set up. And so we need to, people, if you start thinking about it, you'll open the reservoirs in yourself that has that information already. So start thinking about it. We don't need to be thinking about any of the things that we've experienced over the last 200, 300, 400, 500 years. We just need to move and start getting out the box that we think we're in. That's one place to do it. So I'm just bringing it up as a suggestion, and I can actually show the science behind it. But it's just the mind, science of mind. You know, the people, these guys that were, what they call them, the science of mind people, where you get all the Herbert Armstrong and all of these guys. All they were doing was using our science and calling it their whatever.
Yes.
They were and they were using some pretty heavy stuff. Tom Cruise, you know, the group that he runs around
the
with.
Scientologists and all of that.
Exactly. That's all our science. You know. So we could start, if you guys really want to think about things, you know, the ones that science fiction buffs around here, there is no such thing as science fiction from us, because we are science itself. And, yep, you want to talk about jump rooms, you want to talk about walking.
Anti-gravity, levitation, all of that.
Yeah. Yes, taking a step and walking into another dimension, or looking away and seeing other things. You know, this is where our minds need to be. We don't need to be on the mundane, because the mundane will happen just because of what we do. So I wanted to bring that up, challenge anybody. Don't go back to sleep. Moors, don't go back to sleep. Islam.
Islam. Absolutely.
Islam.
You know, I don't even think we could go back to sleep, just because once your mind is stretched to a certain degree, it won't go back. It cannot shrink back into baby form, you know. It just can't. So, having said that, thank you, Justice Dearmore. Very wise words. So we are going to, Empress Amara did put the Canonum Deluxe Positivum in the chat. So make sure that you take a look at that. For those who want to venture there, take a look at that, because, again, we can decapitalize everything in there and use it because we are the popes, okay? We have that authority in our sovereign status, okay? And they actually have to do everything we tell them to do, okay? And they will, okay? And then also we want to remember the court action. So those court actions that we mentioned earlier, make sure, please attend the court action so that we can, more Moors can learn to do them, so that they can save themselves from whatever it is that they are having to deal with in their everyday application of their sovereign status. Okay. Having said that, we will continue again on Sunday. Bring questions and bring answers, because we have, as you can tell by this call, we have all of the answers in our nation already. All we have to do is talk to one another. Talk and listen. Talk and listen. Talk and listen. Islam. Peace and grand rising to the Moors.
Peace and grand rising. Islam.
Thank you. Islam.
Islam, right?
Grand rising to the Moors.
Grand rising.
Grand rising.
Grand rising.
Islam.
Grand rising. Grand rising to the Moors.
I wonder what's going on with this thing when nobody can hear me no more. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you, yes.
Oh, okay. The last time I was on here, you
Heard that too.
you know what I wanted to ask you? I wanted to know about the sovereign credit instrument. I know we talked about it several times, but I was just wondering how we coming along with that.
Well, that's a good question. How are you coming along with your sovereign credit instrument, Empress?
Wait a minute.
Are we supposed to be doing our own? Because I seen one that was in the making a while
Hold on
back.
for just a moment. Go ahead. Empress, are you there?
I'm still here. I said, can you hear me now?
You better knock that stuff off.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I said, I know I seen one that was already in the makings a while back. And I know at the time we were kind of holding off on that. So I wasn't specifically creating my own sovereign instrument. And that's why I'm asking. So I didn't know whether I would like to have some type of template to go on, even if I change it and correct it, just so I can have some basic information in there.
Okay. Are you on social media, Empress?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I'm going to post on social media a link to the latest one that I did. Okay. And then you can take from it and do as you will. Okay. Make yours, make yours, and etc. So that, because we already know they have to honor it. The information that Justice Kevin gave us today is going to assist with that, and so we can format them and see how we want them to look, et cetera, okay? And don't listen to the noise about the sovereign credit instruments, because that's the last, they don't, don't listen to the noise, okay?
Okay. All right, that's perfect.
I'll put one up this week. In the next couple of days, I'll put one up. Next few days, I'll put one up so that you can see how mine look, because we all have to get ready to do them.
Right. Okay? That's right. All right. Thank you so much, Islam. Grand Rising.
You're welcome, Islam. Peace and Grand Rising.
Islam. Peace and Grand Rising.
Grand Rising. Much love.
Yes, Grand Rising. Grand Rising.